The 50 Lessons. Lesson 1. Start where you are. There's an old saying, if you think you're too small to make a difference, you've never been in a tent with a mosquito. Every time I hear that, my ears cringe at the thought of the power that one pesky little bug has to keep me up all night and itching all day. The truth is, we're all big or small enough, or whatever size necessary, to make a difference. When I was a newspaper reporter in Akron, Ohio, I was once assigned to cover a breaking news story about a little girl who had been kidnapped one day in September. Jessica Rep was just 9 years old that Monday afternoon when she left home on her pink bicycle. When she was 2 blocks from home, a man drove up and asked her if she knew someone in the neighborhood. Then he got out of his car, opened his trunk, and pretended to get something. Suddenly, he grabbed Jessica off the sidewalk, threw her into the trunk of his car, and sped away. Jessica's dad called the Beacon Journal newsroom begging us to write a story about his missing daughter. His call came late in the day, leaving little time to write anything beyond the few facts he knew and a general description of the girl. The police hadn't yet confirmed any of the investigation details because it was all so fresh. There weren't a lot of facts available. This was before Amber Alerts and 24/7 news on endless cable channels. One of our reporters, Cheryl Harris, stayed late at work that day to gather every scrap of detail she could from the dad. She made the extra effort to be sure we carried the girl's photo in the next day's paper. Cheryl barely had time to write anything beyond a description of the girl with the blonde hair and the pink t-shirt. Jessica was still missing 24 hours later. By then, the news had spread all over the media. I stood outside her home with a horde of reporters as we waited for the bad news that would surely come. Any law enforcement officer will tell you, once a child is missing 24 hours, that child isn't coming back. Ministers poured in and out of the home, along with neighbors and church people. It already looked like a funeral. Can you imagine being the parent of a missing child? Praying and sitting by the phone all night, hoping each call will bring news of a miracle. Instead, Jessica's mom, dad, sister, and brother awoke to police helicopters, searching for her body. Mounted deputies combing the nearby cornfields for her remains. The sheriff, FBI agents, and dozens of police scattered everywhere in their neighborhood. Deputies even took a boat to search nearby lakes. Police dogs sniffed Jessica's favorite teddy bear and were out tracking the scent of the missing girl. A lone boy walked up and down the street, pacing back and forth, to and from the sheriff's cruiser parked out front. Jessica's brother Jonathan was 13. He kept asking whether his sister had been found. His eyes were bloodshot from crying, from waking up all night to check her bed, praying he'd find her safe and asleep in it. As I watched the police efforts above and around me, I prayed for her and her family. I was standing on the sidewalk outside her home when all of a sudden it seemed as though the entire house screamed. The police had found Jessica, alive. Her mom, sister, brother, and everyone burst from the home weeping and praising God. Her dad had been running off more copies of her picture when he got word. He left the copies and ran to the hospital. The reporters all raced to the hospital. Police there wouldn't say what had happened to the girl. When they had asked her for details, she wept. It turned out that at 5 a.m., the kidnapper brought the girl into a Dairy Mart in Barberton. A convenience store clerk, one of those lowliest of workers on life's career ladder, had been diligently waiting on customers when a man walked into the store with a little girl who looked terrified. The clerk stared at the girl, then stared at the photo of Jessica Rep in the newspaper article that Cheryl wrote. It matched. The clerk called the police. That convenience store clerk saved the girl's life. The clerk identified the kidnapper, who'd been there before as a customer. A while later, a clerk at a gas station called police after a man came in acting strange. The store videotape confirmed it was the kidnapper. He had stopped to buy cigarettes. Just before 11 a.m., police spotted his car in a parking lot. The little girl was sitting next to the man. Police said the man involved had a history of untreated mental illness and erratic behavior. Officers said he most likely would have soon panicked and killed the girl. My friend Cheryl went on to win a Pulitzer Prize, the biggest award a journalist can win. years later for her work on a big series the newspaper wrote about race.